Hey everyone, Mystical Mark here. So this will be your intuitive astrology forecast for the week of August 31st to September 6th of 2025. So in this video, I'm going to intuitively tune in to get the overall energetic vibe of each major and minor aspect that will be happening for this week. Now, in terms of what I'm tuning into when I do this intuitively, when I tune in like that, I'm tuning into my own higher self in order to get that guidance, all right? And of course, anybody doing the work to go within can, of course, do this to tune into their own higher self to get that guidance. Now, beyond that, when I'm doing stuff and I may be getting stuff coming through, that comes from my own guardian angels, okay? And so that's also the reason why when I do my card readings, I use angel tarot cards instead of regular tarot cards, because I'm connecting into a different vibration. Even when tuning into my own higher self, it's connecting into a different, higher vibration. So I've never been, I can do regular tarot cards, but they're not, it doesn't work as well for me because the angel tarot cards are kind of more attuned because they're built to connect to that higher frequency, technically, through the intention of their creation. All right. With all that being said, before we get into the charts for this week, if anyone is looking for any kind of a reading with me, all those links are in the description or in the comments below. I have moved all of my readings directly to my Ko-Fi page. Ko-Fi is similar to Patreon in how you can support. However, the shop that is there is available for everyone. You don't have to be some kind of a member or something. All those links are below, and it just makes it a lot easier. So there's fewer listings. You can still, and you get to just select after you purchase whether you want me to record it and send it to you, or whether you want it to be live one-on-one. All right, that's basically the only difference. Everything else is still the same, and it just makes it easier and more streamlined in that way. Okay, and of course, as I say at the beginning of all of my videos, my guidance has been and likely always will be, astrology is an energetic template conducive to certain things. Their guidance through that is the current astrology or the chart, or however you want to say it, is like a math formula. There's variables that exist within that formula, and of course, those variables can change, and we are able to change them, okay? So there's still infinite creativity within that, all right? As in, we have free will, okay? Is basically the guidance through that. All right, it's just like your higher self and wanting to play the character of you had to come in at a certain time that was conducive to creating that character, okay? That's basically what that means. All right, I don't think there's anything I need to say beyond that. Oh, I guess because I do this intuitively, and because free will does exist, whatever I get coming through intuitively with these videos is, of course, always subject to change. If I'm talking about a specific event that could occur or whatever, that is always subject to change because we have the free will to be able to affect that and to change that, okay? So things will still happen within that energetic template. Like I said, we control the variables, but the overall vibe of how things will occur or shift and change is still there. It's just we have free will to affect it, of course. All right, now with all that being said, let me pull up the chart on my end and we can head into the video for this week. Now we're going to start here on Sunday, August 31st. All right, we're going to have this first quarter moon after the first new moon in Virgo. Okay, so we're going to have two new moons in Virgo, okay, happening both at the kind of the beginning and right at the very end of Virgo, okay? And the second new moon in Virgo is going to be an eclipse, all right? So keep that in mind. We're going to have a lot of Virgo-filled months for about 2 months, and one of those is going to be an eclipse energy. So we've got some heavy Virgo energy that is happening here. Okay, but this first quarter moon here is obviously the sun in Virgo in square to the moon in Sagittarius. Now, I'm just going to tune in here intuitively first, this first quarter moon, sun in Virgo, square, moon in Sagittarius. This feels like a lot. Initially, it just feels like a lot. You have to remember that Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and it just, I feel like there's an expansive energy. There just feels like a lot. And what I'm getting now is as it relates to that, all the little things of Virgo. So it just could be a lot. Like there could be a lot of little things coming up, or it just feels like a lot. Let me tune into that a bit more, that quarter moon. I feel the Sagittarian energy, like the positive, benefic part of it. It feels very Sagittarius to me, but it just feels like a lot. There's a lot of detailed stuff to look at regarding the allotness, the expand, it just feels like a lot to deal with, a lot to go on, a lot to rework, redo, like those Virgo themes. It just feels like a lot surrounding that is the vibes that I'm getting from that. Anything else with that quarter moon? Nothing else. Okay, so let me just go back here. So also on this day, we're going to have this Mercury as well in trine to Chiron retrograde. Okay, so let me just tune into this Mercury trine Chiron retrograde. This might relate to that a lot energy. It seems like because Mercury rules Virgo, there's stuff being highlighted here still that kind of needs to be fixed in terms of, maybe where we've been hurt, what those wounds are regarding healing whatever this Chiron stuff is, or that has occurred, okay? Because Chiron is retrograde, so we're going over these old spaces. So it's about kind of looking at reworking and looking how we can fix where we've been wounded or whatever, how we can heal that kind of stuff, okay? Let me just tune into this a bit more. Mercury trine Chiron. Is there anything else? It's almost like, I don't know if I want to say the word triggered. Stuff could be triggering, but stuff could be coming up. I get with this Leo energy, with Mercury and Leo, to be highlighted in some way regarding these old wounds, etc. They need to be reworked, looked at, and ultimately healed in some way. With that Mercury energy, it's bringing that to our awareness, highlighting that, illuminating that in Leo, and bringing it to our awareness in terms of what needs to be, healed, let go of, etc. with that kind of an energy there. All right. Anything else surrounding this? Mercury trine Chiron. I'm getting the blank no. Okay, so let's move forward here onto Monday. Oh my goodness, Monday, September 1st. Okay. And the only thing, sorry, I'm just trying to look at my list here. The only thing it looks like on this day is we're going to have this Mars energy in sesquisquare here to Uranus. Okay, let me just tune into this Mars and sesquisquare to Uranus. Okay, I'm getting an intense stuff, needing to take action on things that need to change regarding finding this aspect of justice and balance. There's this aspect of it's like there's things that are out of balance that need to come into balance, or need to be justified, or need to be just in some way. And there's this Mars energy that's regarding this, like it's that action taking kind of an energy regarding moving into that more balanced state. And of course, with this Uranian energy, this is the awareness, especially in Gemini, the awareness of that which needs to change. Regarding coming into balance, okay? And with this sesquisquare, it's like sesquisquares are like a super square, okay? So it's regarding this very strong push for resolution. It's something that can't be swept under the rug any longer, that kind of thing that really pushes for this aspect of balance in some way. And anything else with that Mars in sesquisquare to Uranus? I'm getting the no again, nothing else surrounding that. So that's the vibe of that energy there. All right. That looks to be it for Monday, September 1st here. Let me move on to Tuesday the 2nd. Now, of course, this is when we're going to have Mercury coming into Virgo. Okay, it's not showing yet on this chart, but Mercury will come into Virgo. Looks like early in the morning, 7:23 a.m. So this chart is set just after midnight, okay? So Mercury in Virgo, so I'm just going to tune into here. Mercury coming into Virgo. Mercury is coming into its home sign of Virgo, or one of its home signs of Virgo. It feels very like you've got to deal with this kind of an energy again. And I got that with this first new moon in Virgo. It's like you've got to fix this kind of an energy, but it's like this, okay, like there's this happening. I get a person in my mind, it's like someone like dictating, okay, we got to deal with this, or someone else asks, okay, you deal with that, you deal with this. It's like all these little details and these different things, different people, etc. So, and a burp there, usually that's, my angels or guides saying, pay attention to that. So that could be something that's there, because we're dealing with that Mercury energy as well. It's like saying, okay, you deal with this, you deal with this little thing, you deal with that little thing, you deal with this little thing, you deal with that little thing. And that's kind of the vibe of that energy coming through here. It feels very Virgo. It feels very, like taking care of things, fixing things, but it's like this, almost like, I want to say delegation, but at the same time, it's more like just like communication, saying, okay, you deal with this little thing, that little thing. Anything else with this Mercury coming into Virgo? The only other vibe that I get is it's almost like taking care of things. Taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Fixing what needs to get fixed. Right? That's Virgo. Okay? It's like fixing what needs to be fixed. Cleaning what needs to be cleaned. Fixing, taking care of what needs to get taken care of. Like all these detail, like little things. And of course, like I said, Mercury rules Virgo. It's Mercury's other sign. So there's that. It's a home here, and it's going to be dealing with all of those things, right? Anything else with this Mercury in Virgo? I don't know why I'm getting like a political kind of energy, and maybe things that need to be, or it's like people maybe talking about things politically in terms of what needs to get dealt with. Whether or not that actually happens is a different story, because most politicians are just full of hot air. That's my personal opinion. However, I think we can really see that. But that's kind of what I'm getting with that. Anything else? What about that political stuff? There may be things that come into place with this that are, supposed to fix something. Whether or not that actually does is left to be seen. It almost feels like is it's a solution it doesn't fully fit the bill. It's almost like a too little, too late kind of a thing. Or it's like, it's just like, why the fuck are you, like, it may not fully make sense to us as to why things are being done in the way that it is, supposedly to fix something. What I'm getting is, so I'm Canadian, I live in Canada, I'm getting that surrounding Canadian politics. I'm not getting it from, at least that's what's given to me. Whether or not that could be anywhere else, or this could be like a general energetic vibe, but I get that surrounding specifically like what I feel to be Canadian politics. In terms of any Americans that watch me, is there anything specific surrounding this Mercury and Virgo that maybe is coming up with that? It honestly feels like if that's the case, you're not going to be shown what it is for whatever reason. It's happening behind the scenes and we're not seeing it. That being said, is the Canadian political version something that is a bit benefic or legitimate regarding that fixing stuff? I get no. So whatever that is, something could, and this is always subject to change and free will and stuff, guys. Okay, but whatever that is that is proposed as some kind of solution to fix something in a Canadian political landscape is what I'm feeling. It's complete BS, and that it's just for show and it's not actually going to properly fix anything. Don't come at me for saying that, but that's just what I'm getting. And like I said, that's it. I'm getting this intuitively now, but that of course is subject to change in terms of whether or not maybe that actually happens. But as I'm recording this, this is something that I'm getting that could be occurring there. Okay. All right. Do I tune into this anymore? Anything else regarding Mercury in Virgo? I'm just getting the no again. It's just, I get the feeling it's just move on. Just move on. We're going to probably go on this forever, and maybe that relates to that detail-oriented aspect of Virgo where all the little things. It's like, how many things have I talked about so far regarding this? That could, anyway. Also on this day, it looks like slightly before Mercury comes into Virgo, Mercury is going to quincunx Saturn, which has now retrograded back into Pisces. Now, this annoys me because on my little app here, I don't actually see the exact time that this occurs. Okay, so it looks like it's happened. Basically overnight. Okay, so it doesn't tell me exactly on this and when or not. Oh my God, when this has occurred in relation to this quincunx. But so let me just tune in first here to this Saturn retrograding back into Pisces here. So Saturn retrograding back into Pisces. Feel a strong Piscean energy initially. It kind of feels like what I talked about before with Saturn in Pisces is the dissolution of malefic energy. So it's like this idea of control that Saturn may have just kind of goes away in Pisces, because it's like Pisces is like the vast ocean. It's like there's no way Saturn can control it. Like anything can happen, and Pisces is like the infinite abyss of creativity. It's like anything can happen. It's like you can't restrict that. Like, it's unrestrictable. So with Saturn here, it's like, unless there's maybe a certain specific aspect of Pisces that it can try to restrict or deal with, kind of the lesson here is that learning that anything does go, and you can't always control certain things, especially when it comes to things like spirituality or like higher level stuff. Let me just tune into that. Anything else with this Saturn coming into Pisces? It feels like a finalization of dealing with something. I get this as like a political stage, like a global stage of something. It's like it's a dissolving of something. It's like a finalization of something through this, but it's through I don't know, but I mean, there's an aspect to Pisces too that's like this fog, this illusion. It's like I could only be getting what I'm being shown right now, and then like that's it. It's like Pisces is kind of like you have to follow the path of the breadcrumbs and like experience stuff. So there's that part of that. So I mean, let me just tune in a bit more. The Saturn retrograde into Pisces. It's almost like this aspect of like you have to experience it. That's where the growth lies. because I mean, that's the lesson of Saturn. It's like you have to have this a spiritual experience, or you have to experience it. It's like, because that veil of Pisces, it's like almost setting the boundary to be able to be like, okay, no, like, let's not try to figure this out all at once. It's part of the actual experience, is seeing it unfold as you go. Is honestly part of that lesson, part of that growth, is to have things unfold as you go instead of just constantly knowing or planning all the time. Anything else with that energy? Okay, no, I'm gonna move on. So back to this Mercury and quincunx to Saturn. So I kind of got the feeling before this video started that something like that was going to happen. That's not going to show up on my list regarding this Saturn retrograde back into Pisces. So I appreciate the fact that this is brought up at the time that it needed to be. So thank you. Okay, so Mercury here in quincunx to Saturn. So Mercury quincunx to Saturn. I almost get like, did you get it yet? With this kind of an energy, it's almost like this quincunx, this aspect of like, it's almost like a structural fault, or like energy, something that it's almost like it's difficult to deal with or to find solutions with, and it's like, did you get it yet that this is a problem, or something like that? Or did you get it yet? There's something to be learned here, or a growth that needs to occur through whatever, this awareness that needs to happen through here, and this Saturn energy is kind of helping you. Okay, so it's like did you get it yet? Anything else with that Mercury and quincunx to Saturn? I just get this Saturn being the boss. It's like, did you get it yet? To whatever, and it's again through this Mercury energy, through whatever this awareness or is being delivered to you, through whatever communicative venue that exists or that's being highlighted to you. It's like, did you get it yet? And are you working to integrate this and find some kind of a solution? That's what I get with that. Anything else with that? No. Okay, so we're going to move on here to this Sun in quintile to Juno here in Scorpio. So let me just tune into this Sun in Virgo, quintile Juno in Scorpio. I almost get like this aspect of like business deals behind the scenes and working out details in order to shift and change these kinds of things is what I get with this energy that relates to that quintile energy of a behind the scenes putting in the work, a reworking kind of things, usually like a feminine type of energy, and of course Juno relating to committed partnerships, contracts, business contracts, that kind of stuff, and of course with Virgo, the details. But that's what it feels like to me, is like a reworking. It's like we're not really we may be aware of maybe something is going on, but we're not fully aware of what the actual details are. But there's some kind of, it seems like a business deal or some kind of like, it feels like a high profile stuff, like big business or big politics or big, like something like that. But there's details being worked on behind the scenes in order to rework contracts, something like that, surrounding that, etc. Okay, basically nearing the end of the day, we're going to have Mercury now in quincunx to Neptune retrograde. So let me just tune into this Mercury in quincunx to Neptune. I get a more internalized focus, but it's surrounding the same thing, did you get it yet? But it's more of an internal focus, as in focusing like on oneself, how you need to look at yourself in order to grow. Basically that internalized thing to focus and be like, okay, this is where I fucked up. This is what needs to shift and change and kind of what's going on in this sense, and that's where we need to work on and grow in that way. Okay, and that's what I'm getting with that. Anything else with this Mercury in quincunx to Neptune here? Sorry, my brain, something on my phone, I lost my train of, my focus here. Anything else with this Mercury in quincunx to Neptune? What I get too is there's this hidden aspect of Pisces and Neptune, and it's almost like being drawn to the surface in some way too. Have you got this? Are you realizing this yet? Have you figured this out yet? That's the kind of an energy that is coming up with this too, through whatever integration or whatever comes up that you have to try to solve in some way. This feels maybe a bit kind of frustrating. Well, how the hell am I going to deal with this? But it's something that you have to deal with in some way too. Okay, anything else with that quincunx? Okay, I'm just getting a no. We'll move on here. All right, so that is Tuesday the 2nd. Let's move on to Wednesday the 3rd here. And it kind of looks like there's a lot here for Wednesday the 3rd. So let me just start here. So to start off, we're going to have this Mercury in square to Uranus. Okay, so let me tune in here to this Mercury in square to Uranus. It feels like an awareness through the details of what needs to change, honestly. Through these details and what's coming up, there's an awareness of what needs to change. But of course, change that is occurring through looking at those things and reworking those things and redoing those things, etc., 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 is basically what that feels like. Anything else with this? It could almost feel a bit chaotic. Is what it feels like as we're dealing with Uranian energy. It can feel like something that happens out of the blue with this regarding what needs to change, what needs to be reworked on, etc. But this is Virgo and its surrounding details, day-to-day life, day-to-day stuff. This could be stressful for a lot of people as well. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but this is recognizing what needs to shift and change, and a lot of people don't like change. But we need to change in a lot of ways. So there's that part of it there. Anything else with this Mercury square Uranus? I'm not getting anything else there. Okay. Also, we're going to have Mercury in quincunx to Pluto retrograde here as well. So let me just tune into this. Mercury in Virgo, quincunx, Pluto retrograde. Mercury, quincunx, Pluto. Stuff needs to be transformed and changed, and getting this aspect of change again. There's an intensity. I always feel this intensity with Pluto and what needs to actually be changed and transformed. And with this Virgo energy, it's looking at these details to fix and transform and to change, and to this stuff is coming into awareness. But there's an intensity to this. It's like, whoa, it's like, whoa, like, okay, we got it. It's almost like someone coming down to you, the boss saying, or something happens that's like so wild or intense that you're just like, holy shit, no, we have to actually change this. And that's, what we have to do. But with this quincunx, what I'm feeling is that it's almost like, how are we going to do this? Like, how are we going to fix this? It's going to require like a big solution or a creative solution or something like that. And it's really involving reworking a lot of these details and reworking and refixing surrounding that kind of a stuff that has been brought to our awareness in some way through that. Anything else with this Mercury, quincunx, Pluto? Okay, nothing else with that, but it could be related as well to that square to Uranus, because Pluto was in Uranus's sign of Aquarius too, so surrounding those aspects of change. Also on this day too, we're going to have the sun here in sesquisquare to Chiron retrograde. So let me tune into this. Sun in Virgo in sesquisquare to Chiron retrograde. Again, there's this wanting to fix, but this is being aware of details surrounding what these wounds are, where we've been hurt, etc., and how to fix it going forward so it doesn't happen again, is what that feels like to me. Because remember, Virgo is a mutable sign, immutable energy, and it wants to change. It wants to rework things. It's that, but it's the sign of like fixing. There's a lot of fixing. It feels like a lot of fixing with where we've been hurt, where we've been wounded, etc., in terms of moving forward with that. Now, is there anything else with that sun in sesquisquare to Chiron? It's just, again, it's just a lot of fixing where we've been hurt, where we whatever, and regarding moving forward in a lot of ways here. Okay, then we're going to have Jupiter here in Cancer making aspects to the nodes. So we got Jupiter sextile the south node and trine the north node. So let me just get an overall energy of this. It's almost like there's this aspect of like, there's a lot of this old shit that needs to be fixed. There's this direction that we know we need to move forward in, or moving in this new direction. And it's like really unknown. It feels, and I've said this before with North Node and Pisces, it feels like unknown, or almost like, it's what it feels like to me is almost like you're not paying attention to it. It's like you need to go there, but how you're getting there is by actually fixing all the old crap that you need to fix here with the South Node in Virgo. And so it's almost like you're not paying attention to the North Node, but that's where you're heading by actually fixing all the shit that you need to, all this old shit that needs to get fixed in order to move forward. In this new direction. It feels elusive, it almost feels unknown, and that's the energy of Pisces, but with that it's like you know it's there and you know that's where you're headed, but it's like almost like off to the side because you're dealing with this crap. Now let's tune in specifically to, let's say, Jupiter sextile the south node. I feel a very strong, it feels like feminine, like a nurturing emotion. It feels Cancerian, like a nurturing emotional energy that's expansive. But through that is almost like intuitively highlighting or helping you. It's in a very feminine-esque energy kind of a way, helping you to realize what needs to be fixed and like let go of, in a sense, with that South Node in Virgo energy. Anything else surrounding that? Okay, no. So let's do the trine. So Jupiter in trine to the North Node here in Pisces. It's like, yeah, there's a direction that we're now heading in, or that we're heading in, that it's like you're just going there. It's not like, it's almost like there's no effort required. It's like it's like this aspect of flow, okay? It's just like you're just going there, and but it's through dealing with this South Node crap. It's like I already said, it's like you're just going there, okay, but dealing with this crap. Anything else with that trine? Okay, nothing. It's odd, but we're just gonna move on. Okay, so this Mercury, then we're gonna have Mercury here in semi-square to Mars in Libra. Okay, so this Mercury in semi-square to Mars. I get like this Libran, it's almost like a feminine energy, but it's a very masculine-esque, strong feminine energy. I get the Libra vibe of this achieving a balance in some way, and this it's almost like these details are annoying, but they have to be dealt with in order to achieve this kind of balance. It's like, okay, like, why haven't you noticed this or looked at this? And now we have to take care of this in order to achieve balance or to fix this or to work out in some way. She's almost like kind of pissed off. It's like you should have dealt with this, or this should have been dealt with, or these details should have been looked at. Why didn't you? Because this is how this balance and this whatever is going to be achieved. It's kind of like an annoying energy in that sense. Anything else with that Mercury in semi-square to Mars? It's almost like, okay, you have to do it now then. It's like you should have been looked at, it should have been whatever, but it's like, okay, you have to do it now then. You have to look at this and take care of this and take action, take care of this to achieve this balance by looking at all these details. And it can be frustrating because this Virgo energy can sometimes be like stressful. It's like you have to deal with all these little things, but it's shit that you should have actually looked at before that you didn't, and now you're having to deal with it and take responsibility for it. Also, we're going to have this Mars in semi-sextile to Black Moon Lilith here in Scorpio. So let me just tune into this Mars in semi-sextile to Black Moon Lilith. Initially, I almost kind of felt that Lilith energy is what's providing that strong feminine with that semi-square to Mercury there. Or that masculine-esque feminine. Let me just tune in a bit more. This Mars in semi-sextile to Black Moon Lilith. It almost feels related because it's like in order to achieve that balance, it's like you should have looked at these details, and that's why I got left out in the cold, or that's why I got outcasted, or that's why this shit kind of happened, and why the shit needs to be transformed and healed because I shouldn't be left out like this. It's that kind of a thing. It's that Lilith, outcasted Lilith kind of an energy that it's like, well, in order to transform this or whatever, it's like you didn't pay attention to this or you didn't do this, and now this has occurred, but you have to deal with this like now in order to move this forward. Like it's got to get dealt with. Is kind of what that feels like. Anything else with that Mars and semi-sextile Black Moon Lilith? Again, I feel the more Lilith energy, but she's like, well, you should have dealt like this. You should have dealt with this kind of a thing. But now it's dealing with it in order to work or achieve that kind of a balance, right? Anything else with this Mars semi-sextile Black Moon Lilith? Okay, no, I'm not getting anything else. So let's move on here to Thursday the 4th. Oh my god, there's like a lot happening here. Okay, Thursday here we're going to have Mercury in semi-square to Jupiter. Okay, so let me tune into this Mercury in Virgo in semi-square to Jupiter here. Sorry, it's my shoulder is bugging me here, guys. Okay, Mercury in semi-square to Jupiter here. It almost feels like I almost want to say like homemaker energy of like this. It's like almost like a housewife who is almost like, it feels like preparing for fall, like in the sense in what you would do to look after all these little details, like back in the day regarding, you're preparing for winter, so you got to fix this and clean that and do this and do canning with this or do that, and there's all these things around, because Jupiter's in Cancer relating to the home, around the home, but it's this nurturing feminine energy that has to be taken care of surrounding a lot of this detail stuff. Okay, that's the vibe that I get with that. Now, you have to keep in mind that when I get this kind of stuff, it may not be specifically you doing that, but that's the vibe of the energy that is surrounding this aspect. So it's the overall energetic vibe, but it could relate differently to you. It's like nurturing and dealing with a lot of certain detailed things that need to get fixed and prepared for as we head into like a new season or a new, like, something new, something time or place. These things have to be dealt with before where we're going or where we're headed in some way with this energy. Okay, and that's what I mean by how I get this. Anything else related to that Mercury and semi-square to Jupiter? Again, it's just like I said, that homemaker vibe. So yeah. Also, we're going to have Mars here making minor aspects to the nodes. Sorry, I don't know what is with my shoulders here when I'm doing this video. Okay. So Mercury in semi-sextile to the south node and in quincunx to the north node. Sorry, not Mercury, Mars. Oh my god. Okay, let's get an overall vibe of this Mars making minor aspects to the nodes. There's this, I feel like you're wanting to move forward, but it's almost like there's something in the way regarding this quincunx. It's like there's something that needs to get worked on through this, and you're not quite, it has to get dealt with, but it's like really frustrating, or maybe you're not quite sure how to deal with it through this. And it's almost like you don't want to deal with the south node. It's like, it's like we let go of it. Like, let go of it. But that's what's frustrating, is you need to let go of it maybe, but it's hard for whatever reason. So, but it feels like in order to achieve whatever balance that needs to occur here for moving forward, that there's a creative solution that needs to be had or something that needs to be integrated, but there's a frustration here. But the solution needs to be found in order to let go of whatever is no longer working in order to be able to move forward. And it's around striking a balance in some way through this. All right. Anything specific with the Mars and semi-sextile to the south node? Yeah, it's like you already know through the details, through the work, through whatever, what needs to be let go of. It feels Virgoan, but it feels like you already know through that Virgoan energy what needs to be let go of in whatever way, in order to enact proper balance in some way. Now with that quincunx to the north node, there's a frustration. It's almost like, how the fuck are you going to do it? There's a frustration here. It's like, it almost feels like there's something there's a block that is in the way, but that it has to be dealt with because you can't continue on in the way that you are going because balance needs to be achieved here. All right. So that's what that feels like to me. Anything else surrounding these nodal aspects? No, so we're going to move on. We're also going to have Mars here. Hold on. Well, I can touch on this now, I guess. Mars in square to Jupiter. So this Mars square Jupiter. It feels there's a strong feminine energy here. Mars square Jupiter. I'm almost getting like that homemaker stuff again and dealing with things, but there's like, through that, there's some kind of balance. It's this weird Libran energy that's like a surrounding a balancing. Come on, give me something here. Jupiter square Mars. Mars, like, yeah, Mars square Jupiter. It's like it's at odds. There's a frustration here. There's maybe an awareness of things that need to get done or things surrounding this. And there's a frustration with this balance that needs to get achieved because this stuff has to get done. But at the same time, there's a balance that needs to occur here. It's like this, what needs to get done is is pushing things out of balance, but there's this desire that needs to be back into balance, and it's almost like there's a solution that needs to occur or needs to happen in order to achieve the balance, but at the same time getting everything done that needs to get done. If that makes any kind of sense. Anything else with that? Okay, no, that's it. Also, we're going to have Venus here in a biquintile to the north node. So let me just tune into this. Venus in biquintile to the north node. There's almost like a strong feminine energy here, but there's something happening with this energy behind. There's something being worked on behind the scenes in order to move forward properly in a new direction, is what it feels like. This is something that needs to get done. As something that's being highlighted. There's a supportive, it feels like that Leo energy is supportive to this feminine energy in terms of putting in whatever creative work is necessary. It feels like creative, it feels very feminine, that is necessary in order to move into a new direction in some way. This feels very hidden though. And I feel like that relates to maybe that biquintile as well as the fact that the North Node is in Pisces. But there's a definite work going on that is probably unknown. It's probably only known to the people that are doing it. So if it's you, it's known to you that's doing it, but not really actually known to anyone else unless they're a close party, or maybe that close party is aware but not fully aware to the extent of which that you are actually doing this, or is even hidden from them, is kind of what that feels like to me. Anything else surrounding that? It's just like this feminine energy that's really putting in the work in some way. Anything else with that? Okay, but we can move on now. So let's move on to Friday here, September 5th. And of course, this is when we're going to have Uranus going retrograde. It doesn't happen until later in the day, so it's not showing up on this chart. Almost towards the end of the day, like 11:18 p.m. Central. So, but Uranus will go retrograde overnight into Saturday. So let me just have it tune in here for this Uranus retrograde. Uranus going retrograde. Initially, what I felt is it's like what you need to change. Again, with retrograde, that's going over old ground, but this feels very strongly. It's like you need to realize or awaken to. It's like an awakening energy, like awaken to what needs to change, and it's going over these old things again to bring an awareness of what needs to change. What needs to change? Okay. Anything else? Anything else with this? Okay, anything else with this Uranus retrograde here? It feels like things are still going to continue to occur, possibly like out of nowhere, or possibly stuff's going to happen to awaken people to what I'm getting to, what needs to bring into an awareness of what needs to change. What needs to change? Anything else with this Uranus retrograde? Okay, because eventually Uranus is going to retrograde back into Taurus. Okay, we're going to tap into that now, because I'm kind of getting the vibe of that. What I kind of get with that is through this, there's a stubbornness of Taurus. It's like you don't have a choice anymore but to change. This is very fixed energy, because it's retrograde, it's going over these old things. It's like you don't have a choice anymore but to change. It's like this, like I said, with this cattle prod energy. It's like you don't have a choice, you have to change. You need to see the value in this, you have to change. Anything else with that? Yeah, it's just this very stubborn Taurus energy. It's like you've got, like, there's this aspect of like you've got to change. Now Uranus isn't retrograding back into Taurus yet. We're still in Gemini, but I think that's where I get this aspect of this awareness of the awareness of what needs to change. And then this retrograde occurs and it's like, okay, you have to change. Just anything else with this general vibe? Okay, I'm just going to move on here now with that. So also on this day, we're going to have Mercury here in this quintile to a black moon Lilith. So let me just tune into this Mercury in quintile to black moon Lilith. It's almost like you know what needs to change, you know what needs to change, you know what needs to get fixed. It's this very strong Lilith energy. It's like you know what needs to get fixed. It's like it's this aspect of like I'm not dealing with bullshit anymore. There's a strong Lilith energy. It's like you know what needs to get fixed. I'm not putting up with bullshit anymore. You know what needs to get fixed. You need to fix it. Okay? It's like this awareness through this Mercury in Virgo of all these details, what needs to get fixed, repaired, whatever. And then this black moon Lilith, it's like, you know what needs to get fixed. You know what. But it feels like this is, with this quintile energy, this more internally focused. It feels like it's more internally focused. It may not be fully expressed, but it's like you know within yourself what needs to happen. And through, the burping or whatever that I had there, it's like the angels and guides saying like, yes, there's an internally focus here. It's like, you know what needs to get fixed. You know what needs to shift and change based on what has occurred here. There's an intensity surrounding whether it's you that's been outcast or if somebody else has been outcast regarding something related to you or whatever. And it's like, you know what needs to get fixed. You know what needs to change through that. Anything else surrounding that energy? No. So I'm going to move on to this Venus in quintile to Uranus. And again, it's just that they don't want to tell me anything else. So in a sense, anyway, I'm just felt kind of guided to say it's like they're not telling me anything else surrounding that stuff. It doesn't mean that there's not other stuff that could occur with that aspect or other stuff going on. Okay, we're just kind of highlighting the main things, the energies or aspects surrounding these. Okay, so we're going to have Venus here in quintile to Uranus before Uranus goes retrograde. Okay, so let me tune into this Venus in quintile to Uranus. Sorry guys, my shoulder again here. But I feel this feminine energy of Venus. There's a positivity surrounding this Uranian energy though. It's like it's working together, surrounding what needs to be changed, what needs to be shaken up, what needs to be changed, the progress that needs to be made. It's almost like the feminine energy gets it. Okay, the feminine energy gets it. Anything else with this? It feels like with that quintile, the awareness is there. It's just not maybe being thrown in your face. It's there, but it's maybe not fully spoken about as much as I almost wanted to say it should be, but as much as maybe it can be. It's just there. It's almost like the elephant in the room, but nobody's really talking about it. But the feminine energy just knows what needs to kind of change. Anything else surrounding this? And it's like the feminine is already putting in the behind the scenes work to do this, is what I feel like, this feminine energy here. Anything else with this? Okay, now we're going to move on. So that's Friday the 5th here. Let's move on to Saturday the 6th. So on Saturday here, we're going to have the Sun in semi-sextile to Venus. Okay, so Sun in Virgo here, in semi-sextile to Venus. Feel the feminine energy. She's not afraid to understand these details and actually deal with them. Okay, so that's kind of what I anything else surrounding this? Yeah, it's like she's putting in the work surrounding what this awareness is being brought to her. It's like she's not afraid to deal with this stuff that's being in the forefront, that's being out there. It's a very strong and supported feminine energy in Leo. But whatever these things are that needs to be worked on, that's being highlighted, she's not afraid to be dealing with this stuff and to be, moving forward with this semi-sextile here. Anything else surrounding that? I feel like a feminine energy that's very much at the forefront, in the spotlight, that's not afraid to highlight the details or show what she's been working on, or show whatever that is coming through here. Okay. Anything else surrounding that? It almost feels like back in the day, like if you were to watch like a cooking show or like a talk show where there's like a feminine host and she's like working on or dealing with things, like this is how you deal with this is how you cook this meal, this is how you whatever. Okay, but it's a very strong feminine energy, like a strong, like it's a prominent figure, like a prominent actress or something that's out there that's not afraid to get her hands dirty and get in and deal with the details in some way. I don't know why. The person that they're giving me in this is Jennifer Aniston, in terms of maybe someone who was very well known in the spotlight, and through this in some way it's like she's showing, like it's like in some kind of a show where, I don't know if this actually existed, it's just the analogy they're giving me, where she's not afraid to actually work on things or do stuff like on camera, whether it's like cooking this or doing that. It's like she's not afraid to get her hands dirty and actually take care of things, take care of the details, take care of that Virgo stuff, is the analogy that I'm kind of being given with this. Okay. Anything else with that? Okay, no, now that I've mentioned that. So now we're also going to have Mercury here in this biquintile to Pluto retrograde. So let me just tune into this Mercury in biquintile to Pluto retrograde. It says transformation. I feel the intensity of Pluto again, and what needs to be transformed and changed, and what needs to be focused on, or being brought to the surface or faced surrounding what needs to change and make progress and move forward. But surrounding these details, but it's like now, and you're working on it again. Let me just tune in a bit more. My shoulders are like, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, this Mercury in biquintile to Pluto retrograde. I'm getting surrounding, because that biquintile is a feminine energy. I'm getting that feminine energy again that I've already talked about. But it's like, it's not being afraid to put in the work surrounding these details and what needs to get done in order to make progress on this change. Remember, Pluto is retrograde, so it's going over these old things. Like, you're seeing these old things that need to be reworked, relooked at, all these details, etc. But it's not being afraid to put in that stuff in order to achieve this aspect of progress, moving forward with this change and working on this stuff. Okay, we're also going to have Venus here in sesqui-square to Saturn on this day as well. And then I think this is the last thing I'll talk about. Okay, so this Venus in sesqui-square to Saturn here. It almost feels like excuse me, there's this Saturn is working with this Venus energy. It doesn't feel negative. It's like they're working together in putting in the work into a setting. It feels like putting in the work, but it may be in setting appropriate boundaries, setting things up. It's like putting in all of this work in some way. There's an aspect of this feminine energy that's not afraid to work, that's not afraid to put in the effort. And through that, Saturn is working. Saturn's like, oh, good. And it's really helping with this to work with this, right? It doesn't necessarily feel negative. It's like, it's the feminine. It's almost like she's the one that's got her shit together and is actually taking care of things, okay? And is doing this stuff. It's like she's not afraid to, be in the spotlight, to do this, to put in the work, to take care of this. And Saturn is like, good for you, girl, and is supporting that. Okay, that's what that feels like. It's like, good for you, girl, and is supporting, go on supporting that energy. It's like, you've got this, you're doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like I said, it's like the feminine energy has got her shit together. Anything else with this? I'm not getting anything that I've already had, but again, it feels like this feminine energy that is in the spotlight once again. Almost like this actress energy, this feminine energy that's not afraid to put herself out there to show that she's doing the work, putting in the work, etc., to get this stuff done. Right? Because she knows what needs to get done, and so she's doing it. It's like an example showing that, yeah, we know what needs to get done, let's get it done and let's do it, okay? And Saturn's like, yeah, you go, girl, I'm supporting you in this, I'm giving you all that you want, like the strong support of like that Saturn energy of like, and not letting anything get in the way, setting the boundaries to not let anything get in the way of that. It's like, no, this girl's got her shit together. All of you that are gonna mess with her can fuck off. Like, Saturn's there to be the boss, to set those boundaries, to get it in there, and really supporting this energy coming through. Okay, so we've kind of reached the end of the week here. Let me bring it back to me. So I'm just going to tune in to see what this could be on maybe a more specifically, maybe more on an individual level, how this may affect people through the week. So let's tune in to this week's energies, maybe on a more like individual kind of a level. There's a feminine energy that's dealing with stuff, taking care of things. It's like she's got her shit together. It's like, but she's doing what she's got to do. She's paying attention to the details. She's looking at this stuff, and she knows what she's got to do to keep it together. She's the one that's keeping the shit together. The feminine is keeping the shit together. It's like, she's got her shit together. Is what I kind of get with this. Okay, regarding like global, economic, political, any kind of that stuff. I almost get this, like, initially it's like the same shit, but then it's like there's something that's going on that's like trying to fix something. Anything else with that? It's like trying to fix or shift things, but there's stuff that's being stubborn. I'm almost getting whether this is specifically this or whether they're just using it as an example. It's like the war in Ukraine, where it's like Zelensky doesn't want to budge on whatever he's not going to give in to anything, and it's almost like there's this what I'm getting, and it's like there's this stubbornness that exists that is like, okay, but you got to give in to a solution. Like, the solution has to be had. Like, it's like maybe you got to give in to something here, because this has to get fixed. It has to end. It's like this. It's like that stubbornness isn't helping you in this way any longer. And okay, like, I'm just the messenger. This is just what this is. Okay, I'm not necessarily saying that he should do that or what is going on here. I'm just getting this overall as an energetic vibe that is coming through with this. So I just wanted to, it's like, it's the idea, it's like it needs to come to an end. So sometimes you just have to give in to just end it, and then once it's over you can figure out the rest later, is what I'm kind of getting with that energy. It's like what is happening cannot continue, so you have to do something to end it, and then figure out the details later. Once the violence is done, then you can deal with the rest of this stuff. Okay, but the violence has to end first, and we have to do what it takes in order to have that happen. And then if something that shouldn't have happened within that has occurred, we deal with that later, once this violence or whatever the big thing that needs to end has already ended, is kind of what I get with that specifically. Now, because what they're trying to do is I think what they were just trying to tell me, okay, no, like that's the vibe that needs to maybe get done in that specific situation. I think they're just trying to say that so that I don't necessarily get hate for putting that out there. They're trying to clarify what that specifically is. Okay, and they're not trying to take any sides or anything surrounding this. It's just like, okay, no, you've got to do this to finish this, and then we deal with that stuff later once the violence is actually done, because it shouldn't have to be solved in that way. All right, now let me just there's what I'm feeling is there's a more appropriate way to deal with this other than war. And that's for anything, really. Anything else on like a global that I'm almost feeling like just stop. We're done. You've already said it enough. We're done here. Okay, so I guess that's it for this video. If you've made it this far in the video, please leave a purple heart in the comments so that I know you're a real one. And thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in next week's video. Take care, everyone. Bye.